Today we're going to discuss the issue that you have to do as an athlete, a fighter, a non-competing athlete, or a non-competing fighter, how you need to incorporate strength and conditioning into your training program without it affecting your main goal, which is being good at the actual sport that you want to be good at. First and foremost, if you're here and it's a debate if you should be adding strength and conditioning into your training or not, it shouldn't be a debate. You need to. That's non-debatable. It's non-negotiable. However, the capacity in which you do it, that's what we can go ahead and discuss. And that's what we're doing today. The idea is, as you are now becoming an athlete and you're going into your competing stage or maybe your off season, there's oftentimes that you do 2-a-days. For my hoopers, when you're in off season, most of the time you're playing AAU. For the professionals, you're just pretty much getting ready for the next upcoming season. For my fighters, it's mainly for you, you're in season the whole year because there's shows going on the whole time. From an amateur standpoint, you have nationals 3-4 times a year. You have your local shows that you're getting to as well. For your professionals, you're always making sure that you're staying in shape to make sure that you prepare for the next camp. Now, the high professionals like the Terrence Crawfords and whatnot, you guys know that you're fighting once a year, maybe twice a year, if that, so it's a little bit different for you. So I'm speaking to those that don't have the ability to have their own strength and conditioning coach, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and get down to what that looks like. So we talk about practice. Practice is the time that you spend with your coach. Now, if you're a hooper, that's when you're with your team. If you're a fighter, when you're with your coach, hopefully working on strategies that you would do in the fight or things that you guys need to work on. Now, outside of that, you need to be getting your individual work in, which I call skill work. As hoopers, that would be when you're working on individual combinations that you throw, individual things that you do on the court. For fighters, as far as when we talk about combinations that we throw, you're working on the skills that are required for you to be good at actually fighting, where you're able to slow down and make sure that your right hand is perfect, your left hand is perfect, your stance is perfect. So you need to be doing your skill work on your own as well. But then now let's incorporate strength and conditioning. How does that fit into a particular 2-a-day for you? So if it's Monday, let's say that I meet with my coach early in the morning and we have a 7 a.m. session that we meet in. After that, I have a second session that I need to go ahead and get in. My suggestion for that is have that second session either be your strength and conditioning session or your skills work. Now, if it happens to be your strength and conditioning session, it's like, okay, well, how many times a week do I need to do strength and conditioning? It's going to be the amount of time that you have per day. It's total reps and set for the week. And then now we break it down into how much time that you have per day to get those sets and reps in. So what I suggest in being a competing athlete is get your strength and conditioning 2 to 3 times in a week. Now, for me, in my particular system, in my program, I have one day where you're doing isolations, which is similar to bodybuilding, but I do want to touch on that because bodybuilding is not bad. Now, being a bodybuilder when you're an athlete is a different story. If you notice, bodybuilders are a little bit bigger. However, you guys can be doing similar exercises to make sure that your movements work well and your body works well, and each muscle that is part of the muscle group works well individually. You just don't need to make it bigger, so you have to lift in a different way. So for me, I have a body bulletproofing session, which is where we can slow down and we can work on isolations, making sure that our body works the way that it should work. Then I also have 2 athletic days where you're working on your vertical athleticism, you're working on your lateral athleticism, and you're working on your rotational athleticism. If you are in 2-a-day mode, what I suggest is pairing the body bulletproofing session and the athletic day. The example for that would be warm up with the body bulletproofing stuff, then getting to your athletic stuff afterwards. That should take you about 45 minutes to 90 minutes at most, but at least what you'll be able to do is put 2 days in of strength and conditioning in together. So that way tomorrow on a Tuesday, you can get 2 sessions in, one with your coach and then your individual skill session as well. Because if you spread out your strength and conditioning every single day of the week, you're now looking at a couple things going on. You're looking at one session with your coach because you need to keep the main thing. You need to be good at your field of play. You need to be good at your sport. Otherwise, this strength and conditioning stuff doesn't matter because you'll never actually get in the ring. You'll never get on the court. None of these things will never happen because you suck at your particular sport. So now you go on a Tuesday, you get practice with your coach, and then later in the day, you get your second skill session in and make sure that you're good at the sport. Wednesday, you get back into meeting with your coach. Then you get into your strength and conditioning session again, which will include body bulletproofing as a warm-up, and then you get into your athletic day. If you did a vertical day on Monday, let's go ahead and do a lateral day on Wednesday. And then, so that's the idea of how you would break these things down so you can incorporate strength and conditioning into your workout program and have it amplify and get you better at your particular sport, as opposed to it taking away. Because once again, strength and conditioning is a non-negotiable. It's something that you need to do because you want to strengthen your body for the tasks that you have to put it through, and you want to condition your body for the tasks that you have to put it through. And we're different depending on the sports that we play. So that's enough talking about the strategy of it. I actually want to show you two ideas of something that we do in our body bulletproofing session as far as in my system, and then something that we do in our athletic day in my system as well. So I'll show you one of those things. The first thing that we're going to show you is a isolation movement. The second thing that we'll show you is an actual complex training method, which is a compound lift and a low-level plyometric. So let's get into showing those so we can finish out this video for you.